Alright, before I start this video, I just want to apologize for the late upload. I was meant to upload this video like 2 or 3 days ago. Alright, I also want to apologize for this crappy presentation which I'm going to be doing today on Grand Theft Auto 3. I know it looks like a crappy junior cert English project presentation, alright? Or junior cycle, I should say, because in Ireland it's now junior cycle cert. Junior cert! So today we're going to be doing Grand Theft Auto 3 as our next Grand Theft Auto game, as mentioned in the plan going forward video. Make sure you check it out as well. So yeah, let's begin. So what's this game all about? It's an action adventure, third-person game, third-person perspective. Alright, it's 18 plus, made by Rockstar, as mentioned from the previous introduction episode from the previous Grand Theft Auto game. Now, this game, Grand Theft Auto 3, is the sequel of Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. Okay? Even though it was released in 2001, when Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories was released in 2005. Now, I know the bullet points are like not in order, but well, who cares? Anyway, so yeah, just something you need to know as well. So that's the history behind it. Alright. So, who is our protagonist? Some bloke named Claude. Alright. This random dude who's a random criminal. He's mute, which I'll mention in the next slide. He works for Leone in a good period of time, which I'll mention in the next slide. So, the story begins like this. Claude was in the bank heist, but gets betrayed by his girlfriend, who was Catalina. You might find more about Catalina in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. She is absolutely a pain in the arse, far worse than Maria, like bitchy, devious character kind of type. Alright, so you get to know more about it in San Andreas, okay? But she is there in this game as well. Okay, so she betrays Claude during a bank heist by shooting him. So he does survive though, but he gets arrested. So because he got shot, that's why he's mute. And also the game was so lazy to actually have a voice actor for a protagonist. So throughout the game he cannot speak while others can. So yeah. So the story began while the police was transporting the inmates in Callahan Bridge, the bridge between Staunton Island and Portland. Okay, there was a Colombian cartel, a Colombian Mafia, was trying to abduct another prisoner in the vehicle of the police where they were transporting the prisoners in, if that makes sense. So while the Mafia was trying to abduct that prisoner, Claude, alongside with a third inmate, escaped from this abduction thing. Alright. So the third inmate, who was he? He was 8-Ball. Okay, 8-Ball was one of the explosives guru, I should say. He was the explosives expert for the Leone. So him and Claude got befriended, and literally 8-Ball introduces him to the Leone family and gives him a place to stay and shelter and things like that. Blah 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 blah. Alright, and then he has to do chores, Claude, on the Leone in that period of time. So that is basically the story. So there's not much prose, honestly. Now the storyline has an interesting twist to it. Alright, there will be like a revenge for this girlfriend of Claude. Alright, I'll mention that in the very last episodes because I don't want to spoil everything. I don't want to say everything in this slide, obviously, in this presentation. But anyway, there is interesting twists to it. I really like it. So if you have played Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, they have the exact same map of Grand Theft Auto 3. Yes, they have the exact same map. And also similar characters. Just the same characters as well. You got Toni, Salvatore, and others. 8-Ball as well. They make a return as well, and things like that as well. Spank. Now, there's two things I want to mention about Spank. Spank is literally what the Colombian Mafia, the Colombian Cartel is making. Is some new trendy drug that was there in Liberty City. It's like a Coke, alright? That's what they call as Coke. Like in GTA 5, they were calling cocaine as Coke, alright? Not the Coke that you drink, which Cristiano Ronaldo puts in the sign in a press conference. I don't mean that Coke. Coke as in cocaine in GTA 5. But in this game, they call that drug Spank, alright? So another thing I want to mention about Spank. Spank is also the the element of it's basically like the hidden packages of this game, literally like Liberty City, where they used to have that devil sign icons and things like that. Now in this game they have in a spank form, in a drug form, like drug. So spank is basically the hidden packages. Cheats, every single GTA game has cheats, so you cannot go wrong when you have cheats in this game. I always mention cheats. Now I want to mention, I forgot to introduce cheats in the previous Grand Theft Auto game, but hopefully when I finish the story mode of this game, I'll do the special episode. But this time I will include what cheats you should do, which is very nice, which is something you should try out. Alright. So let's go to second slide. Second slide? No. I'll go to the con side, sorry. Now, there's so much cons I like to talk about, alright? Let's start by saying you cannot fly, generally speaking. Now, just like the previous game, you cannot fly. But the reason I put generally speaking is that there's no helicopters, there's no airplanes that you can actually fly. But there is a way to fly in this game. Not with cars, not with wings, alright? This is not like some magic powers, alright? Harry Potter crap. No. You can fly with a rhino, with a tank. Yes, that's right. You can fly with a tank. That's why I mentioned generally speaking. So, there is an unorthodox way of flying in this game. You cannot swim just like the previous GTA game. Now, the next point here I'm going to mention is that you cannot ride motorcycles. Now, as I mentioned, okay, I don't know if I mentioned this, but in Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, the game's year was 1995. Now, Grand Theft Auto 3 is 3 years later, so it makes it 1998. Now, 3 years ago, going back to Liberty City Stories period, where they had Toni, Cipriani and things like that, blah, 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 they had motorcycles. However, in the game, they had a campaign to ban motorcycles for whatever reason. And then the government fell for it, alright? Typical Americans, they just fall everything. Not all of Americans, okay? I don't want to get sued or getting killed or something like that, alright? I don't want to, the CIA or FBI coming at my door. FBI, open up! No, I don't want. I'm not saying all Americans like that. I'm just joking, right? No, there was a campaign, alright, in the game. And motorcycles got banned, okay? But also in real life they couldn't program motorcycles, okay? Because that game was released in 2001, Grand Theft Auto 3. Alright, so in this game only cars, vans, buses, but no motorcycles, no boats. Well, there is boats actually. There's no airplanes and things like that. So you're restricted in terms of vehicle options, if you want to put it that way. There's very few gun shops. Now, in Portland, they have the same gun shop ammunition, right? Staunton Island used to have 2 gun shots, Phil Cassidy and ammunition as well. But in this game, it's reduced to 1. The Phil Cassidy is now abandoned to an empty warehouse, alright? Now, there is a gun shop, Happy Days, in Shortside Vale, which in the previous game there wasn't. It is found behind a police station, in a warehouse behind a police station, and they sell like minigun and a Molotov cocktail as well, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so there is a gun shop for each island. There are 3 islands in the whole of Liberty City. Portland, the first one, the middle one is Staunton, and the one on the very left is Shortside Vale, the last island you will unlock, just in case you don't know. Now, next point, little content. I mean, this game was a very early game, so that's no surprise there. Shooting and aiming is hard. Well, if this was the PC version, I wouldn't have put it there. I'm going to be playing it in the PlayStation 2 version on the PCSX2 emulator, if I get the name correctly. It's a PS2 emulator, alright, on PC. Okay. Now, shooting, I'll explain. Okay. Basically, they have this aim lock, alright? But sometimes you shoot the wrong person. Sometimes you might shoot your own, a pedestrian or your own man, instead of you shooting your enemies. I don't know, it's so weird. And also what weird is, well, is that while you're aiming as well, they have the camera changes angle as well. I don't know why, and it's very unusual, and it's kind of a weird. So I felt very uncomfortable when I'm shooting as well. Now driving is hard, alright. It's very, the physics is absolutely abysmal. Alright, you cannot compare the driving in this game to like GTA 4. GTA 4 had the best physics in terms of like driving and things like that as well. But driving is absolutely a mess, alright. You can easily crash. Turning is, oh my god. Yeah, I don't want to begin, man. You gonna see me getting angry from a lot of things from this situation as well. Um, the second last point, the police are absolutely broken in this game. Man, as soon as you get 1 star, oh my god, while you run, you're trying to fight the police, next thing you, the whole military comes at you, which is just absolutely mad. Alright, the police are very aggressive as well. Like, up there with Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 had very aggressive police as well. In this game as well, they had very aggressive police as well. More aggressive than Liberty City. Now, the last point, which is absolutely horrifying, if this is your first GTA game, do not play GTA 3 as your first game, because there is no in-game map in the pause section, alright? You cannot see the full map in the pause screen, alright? You just have to familiarize yourself like online or from Liberty City. So, you only have to see on the bottom left of the radar. So you only see just the surroundings of it, not the full map, if that makes sense. Now the plan for going forward. So it's going to be played on PS2 emulator. Alright. I'm going to be uploading on every Saturday. Now for the first episode, I won't be doing it this Saturday. Maybe on the Monday for episode 1. Because I might, obviously this video is going to be released on Saturday, I believe. So there are 67 missions, which is 3 less than Liberty City, the previous game. So there will be 6 episodes usually, okay? Now, after the episodes of the storyline, I'll do a special Unlockables episode, just like the previous game as well. So that's basically the plan going forward. And yeah, I'm done here. Apologies for the crappy presentation. I hope you find it informative. I hope you found the foundations of what's going on about this game. And yeah, as always, hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys have a very nice day.